Hey, what's going on, man? How you doing?
All right, how you doing,
I'm
Louis?
doing all right. I can't complain. You know where you at?
I'm at no days off.
No day ain't no days
No
off.
days off. Man. No days.
It ain't. It really ain't though.
No.
It's not. Yeah. So, you ready to get? How your New Year been so far?
New Year's been great. How about you?
Everything's good. Family doing okay. I'm doing okay. Most of my friends, most of them doing okay.
Right.
It's pretty good.
It's good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. So you ready to get started?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. What's your name and where are you from?
I'm Chris, and I'm a recovering addict, and I'm from Calabash, North Carolina.
All right, Calabash. That's what you representing up here?
Well, I mean, that's where I've been living, for the past, 13 years?
Where, Calabash?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
So, like, what you screaming, Calabash? Right?
Put it up, baby.
Put it up. C, big C's. Calabash. Yeah, so you say you've been living there for 13 years. Where you originally from?
I'm originally from South Jersey. I was born in Philly.
Okay.
My dad was a military man, so I moved in a lot of places. I've lived in San Diego. I lived in the Philippines. Where else? Where else have I lived? San Diego, Sacramento.
Okay, so you
I've
military.
been around. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So
Italy.
How old were you in the Philippines?
I moved there when I was 9.
9. Do you remember a lot about it?
I do.
I do. So where did you grow up at? Your earliest recollection of where you grew up at?
Where I grew up the most was South Jersey.
South Jersey.
Yes, sir.
All right. How was it growing up in South Jersey?
It was good, man. It was good. I moved there when I was 12, around 11, 12, and started going to school there.
Okay.
Me and my brother always did things together, and there just came a point to where he wanted to do his thing and left me doing my thing. And when I got into doing my thing, it led to bad things.
All right. So you and your brother, y'all not far apart in age.
1 year apart.
1 year apart.
Yeah.
All right. So you had a lot of friends growing up. Were you popular? Were you shy, timid?
I was shy, man. I was a shy kid. Yeah.
You were?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Do you think you're still shy today?
I wouldn't say I'm shy. I would just say I'm reserved.
Okay, reserved. Okay, well, we'll get into that here in a second. Trouble. Were you bad? Did you cause a lot of trouble?
I was a good kid growing up, man. But, like I said, when me and my brother separated and he did his own thing, I made bad choices. He didn't.
All right. Your brother made good choices.
He made good choices. I'm sure he's made bad choices too, but he was the one that got away with it and I didn't.
Okay. Where did you what did trouble look like for you when you got in trouble?
Well, I didn't pick the best of friends. They were always into the negative aspect of the spectrum.
Okay.
They were always doing the wrong things, and me being me, I was easily manipulated into doing things just so that I can be accepted.
Okay, so you're hanging out with your friends, you get in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
How did your parents combat that? Like as far as discipline goes, like
I was always put on restriction. Like my dad would be out at sea for 6 to 9 months out of the year. And, whenever he came home, I knew that I wasn't going anywhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, wow. So
my mother worked nights, so she slept during the day from like noon till around 8 o'clock at night. And then she'd get ready for work because she'd have to be there by 10.
All right. What did she do? What did she do?
She worked for a pharmaceutical company.
Okay. All right. So, your dad at sea, did you miss him a lot?
When I was younger, I had a good rapport with my dad, but later on in life, it just became, second nature that my dad was gone. My parents are married and they've stayed married for almost 50 years, but my dad wasn't like a set stone in our family. You know what I mean?
All right. Do you think you acted out a lot because he was gone?
I knew that I could get away with a lot more. I wouldn't say that that would be the reason why I acted out.
All right. Why? Because your mom let you get away with more than your dad did.
Well, I mean, when you're one parent's sleeping, and you see her just in the morning, or when you get home from school, you know, you can get away with some stuff.
Yeah, I can relate to that. So now you're growing up. You're in school. Did you get kicked out? Was there a lot of trouble in school?
Yeah, yeah. I was. I didn't do very. I did okay in school. Like I was a C student. But once I started meeting people that were doing the wrong things, yeah, school wasn't a good thing for me.
Did you graduate?
I did.
You did.
Mhm.
So at least you stayed there long enough to graduate.
Well, you know, but I could have done better. You know, we could always do better.
Well, we all can do better.
Yeah, and those are just the things that I reflect on. You know.
All right. Where did you go from after school? Were there a lot of hold on? Were there a lot of relationships in school?
Yeah, I mean, I was like in eighth grade, like I was the chubby kid. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Nobody really wanted to associate with the chubby kid. I had some real friends growing up in the neighborhood, and you know, one year I got skinny, and you know, I started having a lot of friends. And you know, as far as high school, like I can meld and you know, get into groups, and it didn't matter what it was.
Okay.
You know, it didn't matter what kind of person you were. Like I was friends with everybody, but I know what that has to do with.
Did you feel that you could get in any group because you knew how to adapt, whether it was negative or positive?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. I
Absolutely.
mean, I could do that. I mean, which one of us couldn't? You know, I mean, that's
Yeah.
just a staple for us.
Yeah. So, was there trauma? Any trauma?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I had trauma when I was 6 years old. I was sexually abused when I lived in San Diego, and it was a guy that lived up the street because we lived on a hill, and he lived at the top of the hill. Little Chinese kid. He was probably in his early teens, and you know, I remember going into a shed and things happening.
Okay.
You know, and that's the thing that always got me. Um, you know, as far as being shy, you know
Okay.
what I mean. It always got me into, you know, wanting validation from other people. You know, because I always felt like I was doing something wrong. You know, but later on in life, I was able to look at those things with some outside help and get over them.
So, how old were you when this went on?
The sexual abuse?
Yes.
6 years old.
6 years old. So, did you tell anybody?
No.
Why?
I mean, at 6 years old, it's not something that you tell somebody. You know, you just don't think that it's wrong.
So yeah, so you ain't got no concept of it being wrong or right. You're in
Right.
this sexual
Exactly.
active like you don't know. So what age were you when you, and did this just go on one time or did it continue to happen?
It was a couple times. It was a couple times.
All right. And what age were you when you realized like, damn, that it was wrong?
It was now. This stuff didn't really surface for me until later on in my life because it was such a traumatic experience for me that I shoved these things way deep down.
All right.
You know, and going into recovery and looking at these things and these things resurfacing and being able to look at them through step work, like you see why you were who you were.
All right. So you were 6 years old, right?
Mhm.
So do you think the reason why you was act out? I mean, it was so deep, but do you think that had anything to do with you acting out or no?
Absolutely. That's what I was trying to say. You know,
Okay.
you know, all my life since that happened, you know, especially like I used to blame other people because that's what we like to do, right? Is blame other people. And my sister so happened to be born when I was the age of 6. So now I was no longer the little baby. I was the middle child,
Okay.
you know. So my sister got a lot of the attention, and you know, nobody really looked at my brother. You know, I always felt like there was something wrong with me.
So, so your sister, how's y'all relationship?
Me and my sister are good friends. Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Yeah,
Did
and
she?
that's just a result of working a program.
All right. Did she take any? Did she make any bad moves in life?
No, no.
Okay.
I mean, like any other normal person, you know,
So when I
we.
say bad moves, I'm talking about as prevalent as the ones that you
I
say.
mean, she dabbled, but you know,
Not like,
yeah,
yeah.
not like me. No.
All right. So now you're so was that the only trauma you can remember?
Severe trauma, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So now you're when did you start experimenting? When did you do your first substance?
First substance, I was around 15, 16,
You hadn't drunk or did anything before then.
and maybe 14, 15. It was the summer before ninth grade.
All right. What did you do?
Smoked marijuana.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So did you what do you remember thinking and doing once you was smoking it?
It didn't do anything.
There was no high, didn't do nothing.
Didn't do anything.
Are you sure it was marijuana?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it was.
And that's crazy that you say that because I remember this dude in my neighborhood, and he used to have this big bag of we thought was homegrown marijuana, and I remember like we used to smoke it. Now that I look back on it, I remember like I never was high. Like we never got high off that stuff.
Homegrown.
It was homegrown. Yeah, we never got high. When the people I smoked it with probably did, but now when I look back, I really don't. I think it was more that I was getting away with it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it was more of they didn't nobody know than it was
That's right.
the high.
Yeah, that's right. And but later on that day, we got more, and I then felt the effect of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But here's the key though. Like the very next day, I did my first line.
In the very next day after.
The very next day, because my buddy he asked me. He said, you know, there's something that I want to go get. Can you loan me the money? And I said, well, look, if I'm going to loan you the money, you're going to give me some. And that was it.
And this is 15.
Yeah, 15, 16.
15, 16. Wow. So, but like you said, though, it didn't come with any warning labels on it.
No. It was just, you know, part of being accepted, man.
So, your dad, he's still away.
Yeah.
Your mom, she's still working at night.
Mm-hmm.
And you're, so was there a lot of partying?
Yeah. I mean, mostly my brother would invite friends over and have little parties. But, you know, whenever I wanted to have a party, he wouldn't let me have a party.
Okay.
You know, but there was one, well, actually there was more than one. There were a couple nights. The first time I threw a party, he came out back on the deck and knocked me to my feet in front of everybody.
Wow.
Right. And
how did that make you feel?
Not good, man. Not good. You know, and but then the next time I invited people over without him knowing about it, and he came home later on, and there were a bunch of people there, and he enjoyed himself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
All right. So you're smoking weed and you do this line. Where did you go? What happened after that day?
What happened after that?
Yeah, that day. Like, did you continue?
No, because I wasn't really in the grips of it yet. You know, It was
Okay.
just something that I began with, but you know, through the months and the years, things progress. You know, by the time I was the age of 19, it was like an everyday thing.
Did you know you had a problem?
I mean, who at 19 wants to say they got a problem?
Yeah. I mean, looking back,
Oh, looking back at it, yeah. I mean,
where were you getting your money from?
I had a lot of ways of getting money, man.
We did.
Yeah, I had a lot of ways of getting money.
All right. And now you're out of school. You've graduated.
Right?
Are you still living with your parents?
No.
You got your own place, or you living with friends?
Living with friends.
So it's party, party, party.
Party, party, party.
Like, was there ever times, any jails, hospitals, or
Yeah, plenty of jails.
plenty of jails?
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Well, I mean, growing up at that age in the early '90s, that's all I got into. It's the drug scene. We had an apartment. We'd pick up whatever we needed to pick up out in the city in Philly, and we'd bring it back to the apartment, do what we needed to do with it, and then we'd hit the bars.
All right.
And it's just a all night ongoing thing, man.
All right. So were you were all your jail time drug related?
No, my first drug charge was when I just came back 3 years ago.
So there wasn't. I understand it was your first drug charge, but were your charges for going to jail had anything to do with you pursuing?
Absolutely. Of course they did, because that's all I wanted.
Did they come? Did you get bonded out your first time?
Yeah.
Second time? Yeah. Every time you went, someone bonded you out?
Not every time I went. Some of the times that I was in there, it was, ROR, released on your own recognizance.
Okay.
But I went to prison in '99, December 2nd, '99, for stealing cars.
How long did you stay in there?
I stayed in jail for a year.
Did you get beat up?
No.
Did your parents send you money while you was in there?
No, I didn't. I didn't associate with anybody on the outside.
Oh, wow. Okay, so I recently did a podcast where were you there? Did you do anything as far as being rehabilitated while you was in there?
In Camden County Jail?
Yeah.
No.
So you just did the same. I mean, basically did the same.
I mean,
the mentality wise.
The mentality wise, nothing changed. Nothing changed. I mean, the only thing that changed when I came out of there, when I came out of New Jersey State Prison, the only thing that changed was, okay, I did some bad things in my life, but as far as being an addict, I wasn't admitting to that.
You wasn't admitting to that?
No.
So you used the first day you got out?
No, I didn't use the first day I got out. It took some time. It was about a week.
Okay.
Because I came out of jail on a ISP program, intensive supervision program.
Mm-hmm.
And the person that I came out on that program with was somebody that I grew up with.
Okay.
And we did all our dirt together. And the probation officer knew that, and he kept eyes on us. And, I would be giving in dirty urines thinking that I'm getting away with something, right? Let's go back to you saying, always trying to get away with something.
Always.
And, so we continued to do it. And right before Thanksgiving, he hit us with dirty urines. And we thought, okay, well, it's just the one, but he had been doing it, and letting us go. So we'd report every Monday and he'd let us go to see what kind of changes would be made, and nothing changed. So he put us in Camden County Jail the week before Thanksgiving and left us in there until the new year, after the new year.
Mm. How did that make your parents feel?
I didn't care how my parents felt.
So y'all relationship. So you go from that the son that cared to the person that didn't care.
Right.
When did that? At what time in your life did you realize? Did you get that attitude? I don't care what they think.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, because you're selfish.
I say, at what point in your life did you cross that line?
I mean, I can't reflect to exactly what day
Yeah,
and hour, but I know there was a transformation
there was.
with it.
And it
You
wasn't
know,
good.
I mean, when you grow up and you constantly are attacked because of the things that you're doing, and the mindset of a drug addict is, well, I didn't do anything wrong. It's your fault. You know, if you didn't do this to me, I wouldn't have done that.
Oh yeah.
You know, if you know, look at my brother and look at my sister. I mean, you don't give them as much crap as you give me. You know, there's always excuses that I can build on top and justify what I do.
I had a lot of excuses for getting in trouble too. I always feel like I was the least favorite child. I don't even know if that makes sense, but I just had excuses, and then my excuses was just justification for me to keep on doing what I'm doing. Um, but there was a lot of accountability on my end, a lot of accountability. So now you're doing crime. Now you're out of school. You're doing crimes. You're going to jails and prison. Did you finish probation successfully?
I did.
You did.
After
Wow.
I came out, New Year's, I cut ties with him. I met my first wife, and you know, I built a life.
How many times you been married?
I'm in my second marriage.
All right. So your first wife, where was she from?
She's from Jersey,
Okay.
South Jersey. Yeah.
Did y'all have any kids?
No.
All right. How long were y'all together?
Just together 12 years.
12 years.
We dated each other for 5, and then I took a knee, and we were married for what, 7 years?
All right. So were you doing drugs the entire time?
No.
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 All right. So so you was doing drugs before you met her.
Before I met her, but when I came out in January after my probation officer sent us to jail, when I came out, there was no drugs anymore.
What drugs were you doing before you met her? Were you still doing the cocaine and marijuana?
I was mostly doing crack and heroin. Yeah,
Okay.
all the street drugs. Yeah.
All right. So did you do any kind of drug programs while you was in jail?
No.
So you just came out and you was like,
When I came out of jail, it was a program. It was an intensive program. Your probation officer would check on you at home.
okay.
Just pop up out of nowhere. You'd have to report every Monday. Like I said, you know, he caught us doing what we were doing, and when I came out, that was it. It was either straighten up or go back to prison.
So how long was it how long did you stay abstinent clean?
Up until my marriage. So it's 2006, and that was July, right before Christmas that year.
So you stayed clean your entire marriage?
Not my entire marriage.
Okay.
No, I started using, like,
not the first 5 years when y'all was dating.
right. It was about, I don't know, 5 months after I married her.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, doing the work that I do, I was doing a lot of heavy carrying, you know, like
Okay.
heaters and air conditioners, bending over a lot. And she worked for an ear, nose, and throat doctor, and she had brought me home a 6-pack of high set.
Okay.
Which, me being me, all I know is street drugs. I don't know prescription drugs.
All right.
You know what I mean? So she was like, here, take this. This will help your back. And me, I was like, no, I don't want to take anything that's like that. You know what I mean? But it came to a point one day where she was at work late. And you know what? Like, okay, let me try one of these. And as soon as I did it, it was that feeling.
When you did it, were you doing it at the time to get high, or were you doing it
To feel
because of
better.
the pain, to feel better?
Right.
Okay. All right. So and after that, it was off to the races.
Yeah, because as soon as I felt that warmth, that was it.
Did you ask her for some more pills, or did you go cop?
No, I didn't start copping. Shoot. It was probably 6 months later.
So you was just doing
it's progressive. It's not like as soon as I did that, I'm going to Camden and I'm copping. You know what I mean? Because like I'm in the mindset of, like I have a life now. I have a wife, I have a career, and I have a house. I have things that I need to pay for and take care of. And being abstinent for that many years, it changes something about you.
Okay.
But I ended up using progressively because I thought, well, like I said earlier, like I didn't want to admit that I was an addict. I was just a bad person doing bad stuff.
Okay. So once you started back using, did the relationship as you know it, did it start going downhill?
Oh yeah. I was doing things secretly. I was lying. Um, just all the things that we do, hiding things and keeping things deep, dark within ourselves. And it all comes to the surface. I mean, my first wife told me, like, I don't know who you are. You are not the man that I married.
Did you notice that right away, though?
Did I notice what?
Did you notice that? Did you that you wasn't the man when she was telling you that? Did you believe that to be true?
I did believe it, but I mean, I don't know if you could relate. You just want to continue doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's about self-harm.
So I can say, it's about it ain't even about what people. Well, yeah. So I'm looking at a pattern now. So, but once she told you that, at this time, you really don't give a fuck. I mean, you really don't care.
Well, that's not true.
Okay.
Like, you care, but caring isn't enough, man.
All right. So
it's like now, like the love that I have for my kids, that didn't stop me.
Okay. You said earlier when I asked you about your parents that you didn't care what they thought. Was this the same feeling as your wife?
No, it was different.
You care more about her feelings than you did about your parents at that time?
Well, we're talking about different phases. You know what I mean?
Okay.
The person I was back then has changed through the years.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like I was abstinent from drugs for 5-6 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I didn't work a program, but I was abstinent. So you gain some clarity within that time period.
All right. So you started using let's say your 6th year, you say so y'all stayed together 6 more years. Was it just straight chaos?
Yeah, she didn't trust me at all, man. I felt like a prisoner in my own house. I was always, I felt it was like living as a teenage child in my parents' home.
Looking back, was she wrong?
No, not at all.
I
would have been the same way.
All right. Have you had a chance to talk to her?
Yeah. I resolved those things.
You did. How did that make you feel?
That was years ago. I was okay. Let's just say that.
Okay. Well, okay is good. Yeah. Okay it's not the okay is okay.
Right.
Like, yeah. So so the marriage over now. Where did you go after?
Well, the marriage didn't end till I moved down here in about, I think it was my 3rd year down here.
So y'all continued to live together until you moved down here?
No. It was a process. When I came down here, because living with her, she had sent me to a rehabilitation center.
Okay.
And I came out and still continue to do the things that I do. So my parents had moved down here back in 2004, 2003, somewhere around there. And my father thought it would be a good idea that I come down here and get some time away from that.
So she did what she tried to make it work.
She did. Yeah, she did. She absolutely tried to make it work. But
you wasn't ready.
I felt that it was over. Like for me, the way that I believe is, when the trust is gone, it's gone. I mean, we can look back at, how I was treated and how she questioned everything that I ever did anymore because she didn't trust me. So me going back to that, it would just be the same thing. I didn't, let's just say this, taking accountability and responsibility. I didn't want to have to go through that in order to build to the good.
Okay, I get it.
Right.
I get it. So now you're back. You're in South Carolina.
In South
Had you ever been down here before?
When my mother was looking for a house down here, yeah.
All right. So now they I'm assume they have their house already.
Yeah.
All right. So you moved back down here. You moved in with them, your parents.
I did.
Were you using when you first moved in with them?
Yeah. I had a blast on the way down here.
How did that? You did?
Yeah, but after I got down here, because that was like the last hurrah. So after I got down here, I had kicked in my parents' guest room off of heroin.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
How long after you had came down here
What's that?
that you kicked the habit?
It was about 3 days later.
All right. So you didn't cop it all down here.
No.
All right. So withdrawn.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
They knew what I was doing.
So
That's why they told me to come down here.
They loved you through it.
They did. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So now you withdraw. Stayed in there 3 days. Withdraw. What did you do after you withdraw?
Went to a meeting.
So you knew about meetings.
I knew about meetings because they were introduced to me by my probation officer when I came out in January. I was told that I need to get papers signed going to meetings. And that's how I was introduced to NA. Yeah. And I did that for a little bit, but I didn't get too involved in recovery in the community.
All right. So how long did you did you make new friends?
I did. And I had friends that were in high school. Oh, what are you talking about down here?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, down here I made new friends. Absolutely. You're one of them, man.
What was you thank you? You're one of my friends too. What did you say? Well, what were you about to say about up there?
Well, I mean, I had friends that were in the program
up there
from high school.
Okay, yeah.
So.
So you did go to a meeting in Jersey before?
Yeah, absolutely.
But it wasn't like you just.
I wasn't ready.
Yeah.
I wasn't ready. I couldn't identify.
So you come down here, you find you a meeting. Were you nervous or scared?
Well, I mean, the first meeting I went to was at that church at the top of the stairs, and I stood in the doorway, and the meeting was packed, and it was a candlelight meeting, I believe, at Hugs, and I stood at the doorway and told everybody how I was living and what I was doing as far as the relationship with my wife and going outside of it with her sister.
In New Jersey.
In New Jersey,
okay,
yeah. And that's kind of one of the things that propelled me into my divorce with her.
All right. What were you? Did you do it because of drugs? Or you did it because you're a man and you was.
No, I did it because she had cheated on me when we first got married, and I purchased a home and I was fixing it up, and her coworker had a son that did drywall, and I had a bunch of wallpaper in the house that I had to take down.
Okay.
And she had hired him, and that's what happened. And I had found that out.
How did that make? Well, where were you? Were you at that point that you found that out? Did you tell yourself you're gonna get some get back?
No, because I didn't. I'm not the type person that's going to chase somebody to make something happen.
Okay.
As far as like when it comes to sex, and it just presented itself one night in our house in the basement while she was passed out upstairs.
All right. So you come down here. Did y'all continue it?
For a little bit, yeah,
All right.
for about a month.
So how did your wife find out?
Uh, my phone.
She went through your phone. And did you try to deny it at first?
No,
You knew you was jacked.
I'm the type of guy when you're caught, you're caught.
What was your excuse
Excuse for what?
doing that? Like you just didn't tell her nothing, or you just said I'm sorry and went on about life, or what?
Hmm. Um, I didn't have an excuse, man.
All right. So now you're back in you're in South Carolina now. You're staying with your parents. You're going to meet. Did you stay clean?
Yeah, yeah. I stayed clean for a
How,
couple years.
how long?
6, almost 7.
Um, since you say you stayed clean, you went back out after that amount of time.
Hmm.
Well, what were you not? What made you? What were you thinking before you went out?
Well, this program is a program of change, right?
Right.
You agree?
I agree.
Um, so just putting down the drugs doesn't change anything. The only thing that it does change is perspective. You know
Okay.
what I mean?
I know.
Like I get some clarity in my life, um, and now like I find out that the drugs aren't the problem, but I'm the problem, right? Um, but denial's still in the way. Okay. So I want what I want, and I go and I get it, and despite what anybody's telling me, despite the suggestions that are given to me, and you come to that point in life in recovery where you just it's kind of like the desperation that you get when you know you need help but don't know how to ask for it,
Okay.
because like you get some clean time in here, and you want to look good, and you don't want everybody to know what you're thinking or how you're feeling, because at that point you shouldn't, in your own perspective, uh, it's not the type of stuff that you should be struggling with anymore. So it's a secret. The things that I did in recovery were secrets.
So so you got all you're struggling, and like the minute you said, okay, I'm going to get some drugs, did not that's run through your head at that time? Like call your sponsor, call one of your friends or somebody.
That it's that secret. It's not really a secret, but I think it's a secret, because my mind messes with me. I don't know about you. Like my mind tells me, well, people don't really know this. It's just you thinking that they know it. I don't know if you can follow me with that.
I
You know,
definitely can relate.
and you cling on to this justification of, well, I don't need this anymore because like I got God. I have my child, and there's better things for me out there than coming in here with all these people trying to tell me what to do and judging me.
Hey, is this a thought before you went and copped or after you went and copped?
No,
About
this is all before, and
okay.
This just isn't like one day I woke up and
yeah.
bought this.
So I asked that because I remember telling myself, well, that I got enough. I done been here enough, and I done been to enough meetings, and I done learned enough. I just know I can't. I just can't use drugs. I know that, and I remember thinking I can do it alone. But what I want, I can do it alone without other people. So did you use and then go? Did you use and then continue to show up in meetings, or once you used, you stayed out there until you came?
No, Because it's like before when I met my wife and started using, it was progressive. It wasn't like I picked it up and then immediately started doing it every day.
So were you still using it claiming clean though?
Yeah, I was.
How did that make you feel knowing you were using drugs but and telling everybody and acting as if you were still clean?
How did that make me feel?
Yeah.
I didn't really feel too much about it.
So you had lost the sense of.
That's right.
So, but okay, here go that's a pattern. Like
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
a pattern like that started way before. Like how once you say F it, like the feelings go, wow. So yeah, I see that pattern.
Yeah, absolutely.
So did it get better while you was out there? Was it better this time?
It don't ever get better, man. It seems like it's okay, because like I tricked myself into thinking, well, I ain't got to do this every day. I can just do it every once in a while, and that's just not the truth.
Were you still staying with your parents?
Towards the end, yeah, absolutely.
You still okay? So you had,
Because I had lost the home,
so you stayed here long enough to get your place to live.
What do you mean?
The first 6 years, you say you was clean for 6 years.
Yeah.
In that 6 years, you got you in a place to live.
I did.
How long was it after you how long was it after you went back to drugs?
Well, once I admitted that I got high,
Mm-hmm.
I moved into the recovery house with the men over here on 7th Avenue.
Oh no,
and that was a short period of time.
Okay, that's not okay. So after 6 years, you got high again, right?
Yeah, and I moved into the men's house. I was there for about 90 days. I got my life together real quick.
Okay.
I got a job.
Okay.
All right, and I was offered a house that I can stay in.
Okay.
Remember now, right?
Okay, now, okay.
Okay, and then I moved back up to North Carolina, and that was it. That's when it just started all over again because I wasn't done yet. I got honest that I got high, but I wasn't done getting high.
So you went back. So you got your house. How long? So once you got your house, how long did you stay in that house before it was gone?
Was it about a year and a half, maybe?
It progressed real fast.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you could only hide things for so long, especially like now my parents, they know all the signs. You know what I mean? And, yeah, I ended up moving back in with them. And then COVID happened.
Mm-hmm.
And then I used an excuse because I'm around them all the time. So I can't really do my own thing. Plus I got a kid.
Yeah.
I got 2 kids now at this
Yeah.
point. And I would say, hey, I'm going to go up to Jersey for some work. And I would send money, but that's when I came back down here in my 4Runner, and I was about an hour away from the house, and I felt that I could make it, and I didn't.
You did. What do you mean? You didn't make it?
Well, I nodded out at the wheel, and the truck flipped, doing about 70 miles an hour. I only remember swerving on the road, waking up and swerving on the road, and then as soon as it tilted, I don't remember anything until I was awake and there was somebody there knocking or yelling at me or something.
All right. So you went straight to the hospital? They took you?
No, I told them I didn't want to go to the hospital because I was high on narcotics and I didn't want to get tested.
So you just left your truck there?
The tow company actually gave me a ride right into Wilmington. It was probably around 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
Gave me a ride out into Wilmington. I unloaded my car and took everything out of it. And I had a bunch of money,
So you got
and I still had a bunch of drugs on me.
So you got a hotel?
No, I went and he dropped me off at the Enterprise near a big Walmart and up in North Carolina, up in Wilmington. You probably know the Walmart I'm talking about, but I went there. I rented a car, It was a black Camry, and drove that to my parents' house. Pulled up to my parents' house, and they said, "Well, where's the 4Runner?"
Yeah.
And I told them, I said, I'm getting it fixed. And mind you, like I just put $1,000 into the vehicle by getting new tires, and I told them it's getting fixed, and this is the rental, because something had happened on the way down here.
Then you eventually had to come clean.
Eventually, yeah. When I had to return the Camry back to Enterprise.
So did you continue getting high once you got back?
Yeah. I wasn't done yet.
But you staying with your parents.
Staying with my parents.
All right. So when did you finally come? No, let's go back. So you said you got 2 kids.
Yes.
Both of them by the
same mother.
Y'all still married?
Yeah.
Y'all are still married? Are y'all together?
No.
Why?
Well, I can give you a backstory. You ready for the backstory?
All right.
As you know, like DSS was involved in my life.
Okay.
Because their mother was using as well. She was a newcomer. That just gives you a glimpse into the insanity that I was in my first 6 years of sobriety down here.
Okay.
So she kept using and doing what she was doing, and DSS got involved, and I reported DSS for 2 years, and for some reason they kept putting it off. And then the last time I went up to Jersey on my way back down here, this is when I spent some time in jail in Virginia. I was on my way back down here because I had an appointment, because DSS had put me on it because I had started using, right? So now the other side of the family is going to report me to DSS. So now I got to start doing programs with them. So that gets in the way of my using, being in Jersey. So I had to make an appointment down here for DSS. And I didn't make it because I got busted by the cops in the parking lot.
Okay.
In Virginia.
All right. And she didn't make it.
Well, she was living in her mom's house now at this point, and she was there with the kids, and I wasn't.
Are you back? So how is your relationship with her now?
It's good because she went up to Wilmington. She's got a little over 18 months now.
Well, that's awesome. All right. So are y'all trying to repair y'all relationship?
No.
All right. So how's the relationship with you and your kids?
Me and my kids are great. Yeah. But what I wanted to say about that, the reason why I stayed married, this is what I was trying to get to. The reason why I stayed married is because of my kids. I didn't want my kids taken out of my life, and and that's the thing that I always presented to DSS was, well, you know what, like we're married, but they always bypass that.
Yeah. Well, let me say this because I remember when you relapsed twice, actually. And this is just what I see. You was always that father. You was always like it was always your kids. Like it's been all about your kids since I have known you.
Well, they're number one, man. They're number one. I've made my own mistakes due to my own wants.
When you were using, did you you loved them, but were you there for them as much as were you still there when you was using?
Yeah, I was always there. I was always present with my kids, but I wasn't there for them.
Okay.
You feel what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like I'm there in body,
physically, but not emotionally.
That's it.
Yeah,
that's really it. Because you're just chasing what you want.
So how long do you have clean now?
I will have 3 years on the 17th.
Wow, That's what we mean when we say any addict. Like we don't just be screaming it. Whoa, 3 years. 3 years. What's different from these 3 years than the 6 years you had prior?
The amount of surrender that I have, the amount of self-acceptance within myself, the want of wanting to grow, not staying stuck and stagnant.
All right. So now, so the amount of surrender, and when you say, so have anything popped up in your recovery? Any roadblocks that has went on in your recovery? Any obstacles?
You know what? Like I wouldn't even really call them obstacles or roadblocks. I would say that they're roads to navigate on.
All right.
You know what I mean?
I know.
Like I look at everything as an opportunity today.
All right.
Like I don't have to make the same mistakes that I used to make. I can grow in it. I mean, and you kind of said it perfectly the other night. Like I just get to be me. Regardless of what you make.
And that's a good feeling.
Yeah,
every time I think about, I don't need validation from nobody. I don't need nobody to say, "Oh, you doing a great." Because living like that for so long, you become accustomed to it. If you don't receive the validation, then oh my gosh, I'm doing something wrong. But now, self-acceptance, man, is beautiful. It looks good on any. Yeah. It looks good on anybody.
I like being where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
I enjoy it.
Do you think you're right where you're supposed to be?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. You hesitated.
Yeah, because there's moments in these past 3 years where like I wanted more than what I got. Not as far as like material, but like I just wanted to be further along in my life.
Do you believe if you didn't feel like, do you believe you could be happy if you didn't feel like you were where you're supposed to be?
Do I feel happy?
Do you believe you could be happy, joyous, and free like you say you are now, if in your mind you thought you was not where you supposed to be?
No.
So you got 3 years in recovery. Have anything good happened since you've been here?
Anything good?
Yeah.
Every day is good. Man.
Every day is good. Why is every day good?
Because this is extra.
And the reason why I say that, because that ain't my story. Every day ain't every day. I know. Now, don't get. I know they say every day that I know the cliche. Every day that I don't use drugs is a good day. But I buried 3 cousins in Narcotics Anonymous. I buried my grandmother. I buried 3 cousins in recovery. I buried my grandmother in recovery. I've been homeless, jobless, and penniless, clean. Not even, and I really can't say for me those were, unless I, like when you were talking earlier about look way deep down within, I can see that. But every day ain't been a good day.
Well, it's perspective though, man.
It's perspective.
I mean, I don't have experience in recovery with people passing away, except for my cousin that killed himself because of this disease. But I can't look at that as a bad day.
You had a cousin that was coming around one time.
He's the one that killed himself. Yeah.
For real?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And like for me, like I should be gone. Shouldn't be here. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And that's what I mean with like that level of surrender. Like I can't explain the level of surrender. All I know is that I got it. Right. And like every day for me is an extra day to get better. So if I focus on the negative things, and I've told you this before, it's not a bad day. It's just a bad moment that I've stretched out into my day.
Okay.
And that's how I look at it.
And if I think about that bad moment and I stretch it out my entire day, I'll piss all over that day.
Pretty much, man. You know, I mean, that saying's true in there. Like I could restart my day at any moment.
Any moment.
Any moment. You know, why hold on to what was? And that's the great thing about recovery, because like what was pops up every day. It pops up, you know. But I get to look at it and live through it rather than dwell in it and sulk. You know, see what I'm saying?
I see exactly what you're saying. If you stick it like that, it's a beautiful day.
It is, man. It is. I mean, what better than to be here, sitting with you? You know what I mean?
But
there ain't no days off.
But I've seen some miracles happen. I've seen some miracles happen in your. Okay, you say that you not supposed to be here.
Right.
What's your definition of, not Webster, yours, of grace?
Grace? I mean, I'm right here.
Why do you think so? Why do you think you're not supposed to be here and you're here?
Because if I would have put that in my veins, I wouldn't be here. Something happened in that moment.
I get that.
Like the things that happened brought me here, right? And I don't deserve to be here. I just don't. I don't deserve it.
Of course you do. You have kids. Of course you have a family. You got people that love you. You got people that you still need to reach. People that ain't seen you in all your glory. Of course you're supposed to be here. Of course. 100%.
Well, yeah. I see where you're coming from.
Are we looking at the broad aspect of it again? If we're looking at that aspect again, where you say you got to look at the bigger picture, I see what you're saying. But of course, I couldn't imagine a world without Tink. Now that I know, gosh, like we've like ever since we've known each other, like this on my end, I know, like I think like our friendship has been solid.
Yeah.
Solid. No, and like I couldn't imagine living like meeting you and then all of a sudden you're not here. Gosh, that would have broke my heart. I mean, and it's so, that would have broken my heart. I'm sure your kids' heart. Probably everybody you're come in contact with, except for them haters. But this ain't they part of the thing yet. This ain't they, except for them. But yeah, I mean, of course you're supposed to be here. I used to say that. I don't say it no more, because trust me, if I'm not supposed to be here, I wouldn't be here.
Well, I follow you. I follow what you're saying, you know, and thank you for that. But I'm talking about my perspective. You know what I mean? I don't think I should be here, but I am here. So I'm trying to make the best of every day, you know, and that's my surrender.
Okay. And you say your surrender this time is really, really deep.
Yeah.
How do you know it's that deep? Like, how do you know? Like, what make you think?
Because like I don't do the things that I used to do.
What were you doing?
Women and prestige and property and all that stuff.
All that stuff.
That's all the stuff that I used to chase, man. I mean, today, like I get blessed with it, but it doesn't make me who Chris is.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Exactly. And that's it. I love that. And that's the thing, because, you know, looking back, even when I was smoking crack, I've always been able to get a hold to some things. Things are easy to get. For me, it was keeping them. And putting that before being clean, staying clean, my recovery, like I don't know if I could make it.
What, putting the stuff before?
Yeah.
No, you
can't. Think my recovery got to be at the top of the list.
That's where it is for me.
Yeah.
today.
Okay, so I can feel that surrender. I can feel that surrender no matter what.
Well, all I got is today, man.
Yeah.
You know, like that's all I have, and I'm not going to speak on tomorrow, but I know what happened yesterday.
What is something you hear in recovery that you can't quite grasp the concept of?
In my recovery?
In recovery, period. You're in recovery. Something you may hear someone say that you may grasp the concept of. And
that I have a hard time grasping?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know. You put me on the spot with that one.
So I'm gonna tell you this, someone gave me a new perspective. I remember when someone told me, I remember for good, you know, when you shared and you hear somebody share that Gucci stuff, and then I remember I used to say that my worst day clean is better than my best day high. And I remember when someone gave me a whole new. Someone was like, "No, I don't. I had some good days.
Oh yeah, I totally agree with that.
I had some good days, and I remember when someone first said that in a meeting, and I was like, "Wow, changed my entire perspective." And another one was when I first got here. They say the only way to keep what we have is by giving it away.
And that's the truth.
I didn't understand that because I've never, like, if I'm thirsty and I give you my water.
If I drink it, you're going to feel better, right?
I'm gonna be thirsty as shit. Oh my God. Like I did, but they're not talking about a physical thing, they're talking about a spiritual thing. That's why, and I didn't realize that's why it be that it's spiritual. Yeah, so anyway, man, keep on doing. So when troubles come your way, how do you continue to stay the course?
I have a very, very small network. I talk with my sponsor, but I also I make a lot of meetings, man. I ain't never stop making meetings.
Okay.
You know, for me, where I live at today is in a men's recovery house, and I've been there for the past 3 years, and you know, it's been like a staple in my recovery today. And this is a vacation for me right now, recovery. You know, like yeah, I'm building. And you know, I'm also working on the inside. Like for me today, like it's anger, you know, which I talked to my sponsor about all that today, and I called somebody in my network because, you know, I told him, I said, like, I'm having this issue with anger and it's coming out the side of my neck. You know what I mean? Like I'm usually a patient person when it comes to driving and being tolerable with other people around me on the road, and I've just been acting out with people on the road. That's where my anger's going towards, you know. And the gentleman that I called, he said, "Well, Chris, why don't you just walk up to a pane of glass and punch it and accept the pain?"
Mm.
You know. And when he told me that, like I laughed about it. You know, we both laughed.
It was deep.
But it was deep.
Yeah.
When I look at it, because what I like to do is I like to control things, right?
So yeah.
So like I have this anger issue, and like I want to control it in other areas of my life, and then it comes out in driving, right? And so like when I get that under control, I want a reward, right? So I'll act out in another defect to make me feel good. So what it comes down to is control.
So I won't I act out. I want control too. And when things don't happen in my life, I don't like it. I don't like it. I would try to make it reverse the entire situation where I come out where I get what I want. So if someone out there struggling right now, or what would you, looking into the camera, what would you tell someone that's out there struggling?
With this, with what we got?
But someone out there struggling with drugs right now, what will you tell them?
It's better. It's better somewhere else, man. Don't stay stuck where you're at. ask for help, reach out for it, and follow through with it. Like we ain't got to live that way. There's help. I just need to find it. And the way that I find it is by asking for it. Silence don't get me nowhere.
That's deep. Help becomes available when we ask for it. You're right. What kind of business you got?
Business?
Yeah.
I'm working on that.
No, what do you do for a living?
I do heating and air conditioning.
HVAC?
Yes, sir. Refrigeration.
All right. Can you do commercial and residential?
I prefer residential, but I do some light commercial as well.
All right. Yeah. Do you got a name?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Nope.
But you got tools.
I got everything.
You got a truck.
Yep.
So just get it. So just get in touch with Chris for all your heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Lewis, this is
Chris.
Thank y'all so much. Peace.